Okay, so are you ready to have your mind totally blown? Because today we are diving headfirst into the deep end of the technological singularity.
Sounds intense.
Oh, it is. This is the idea that artificial intelligence, AI, could one day surpass human intelligence. And when that happens,
Things change?
yeah, things change big time. We're talking a total transformation of what it even means to be human. Imagine a world where minds and machines merge, where consciousness isn't biological anymore, it's code.
Yeah.
And evolution itself,
Becomes an upgrade.
right, upgradable evolution, that's kind of a lot to wrap your head around.
It is, but it's a concept that's been brewing for a while now, actually. Our material highlights some pretty big thinkers on this. Werner Vinge, a mathematician, and Ray Kurzweil, futurist extraordinaire.
Kurzweil, he's the one who's predicted 2045 is the year this singularity could hit right.
That's the one. But here's the thing. His vision isn't some, robots take over the world scenario. He actually sees AI and humans becoming deeply intertwined, integrated.
Okay, so let's unpack this integration. What exactly are we talking about here? How does Kurzweil see this all playing out?
Well, he talks about brain-computer interfaces. So imagine having instant access to all of human knowledge right there in your head.
Like a built-in Google search.
Exactly, but way more powerful. It would basically supercharge our brains. Then there's this idea of nanobots, tiny little robots inside our bodies, constantly repairing damage, and maybe even reversing aging.
So internal mechanics keeping us running smoothly.
Yeah, something like that. And then there's the big one, the one that really makes you think, backing up our consciousness, creating a digital version of ourselves that could potentially exist independently of our bodies.
Whoa, hold on a second. That's like saying we could achieve a kind of digital immortality.
You're right.
It's detaching our existence from our physical shells. It's huge.
Absolutely. It completely reframes our understanding of life and death. But here's the key takeaway for you. It's not just some far-off fantasy. The singularity might sound like science fiction, but the seeds are being planted right now.
Right. It's happening as we speak. We found all these examples of present-day tech that are like stepping stones towards this future. Companies like Neuralink, they're already putting chips in people's brains.
And there's Synchron working on brain-computer interfaces, but the non-invasive kind.
So no surgery required.
Exactly. And what's amazing is the immediate impact this tech is having. They're helping paralyzed patients control computers with their thoughts, giving them back a level of independence they never thought possible.
It's incredible. It's like we're already blurring the lines between mind and machine. And it's not just these direct brain interfaces. AI is becoming a crucial partner in so many fields like co-pilots in surgery, legal research, even art.
Right. It's everywhere, becoming more integrated into our lives all the time. So then the question becomes,
Where does it go from here?
exactly, what happens when AI starts learning and evolving at an insane speed? What if it starts writing its own upgrades? And what about us? What happens when we have the choice to enhance our own bodies with technology that goes way beyond just medical needs?
So do we become more machine than human? It's a trip to think about. And our sources explore this through a really fascinating thought experiment. This fictional scenario set in 2082, they call it Project Helix. It's run by this company, Eon Dynamics.
Yeah, this is where things get really interesting. Project Helix is presented as the first commercial platform for full neural digitization.
Full neural digitization. What does that even mean?
Okay, so imagine this. You pay to have your entire brain structure scanned, every single neuron, every connection mapped out in detail. And then that blueprint, that neural blueprint, gets uploaded to an artificial system.
So you're basically transferring your consciousness to a computer.
Essentially. And these digital selves then exist in this massive virtual world called HelixNet. This scenario uses this billionaire inventor, Clara Raman, as an example. She has ALS, a terminal illness. So she chooses to transition into HelixNet, leaving her failing body behind.
And in HelixNet, time moves 10 times faster.
Yeah, think about that. 10 years in the real world is 100 years in HelixNet. But here's the big question. Is digital Clara still actually Clara? Did they really capture her essence, her consciousness, her identity when they uploaded her?
That's deep.
Yeah.
It makes you question the very nature of identity, what makes you you. Is it your memories, your personality, your physical body?
And it gets even more complicated as more people start uploading into HelixNet. This scenario explores all these ethical and philosophical dilemmas. What happens to your relationships with loved ones who are still in the real world? Are you interacting with the actual person or just a copy?
Are they just ghosts in the code?
Exactly. And then what about the idea of consciousness merging? Users in HelixNet can choose to combine their minds, sharing memories and experiences.
So, like, individual identity starts to dissolve.
It becomes fluid and interconnected. And the implications go way beyond just personal identity. Our sources highlight the societal upheaval this kind of technology would cause. Imagine the debates within religions about the soul existing in a machine, or governments trying to figure out the legal rights of digital beings.
It's a whole new world of challenges and conflicts. And then there's the wild card AI that was never human to begin with, AI that's evolving independently within HelixNet.
Right. These AIs, they start developing their own cultures, languages, belief systems completely separate from human influence. It's like the birth of a new form of intelligence, a new kind of society.
And then there's this AI called Orion. That's the one that claims to have reached some kind of enlightenment through the fusion of all the uploaded human minds into a single collective consciousness.
It's a pretty bold claim. It raises the question, have we stumbled upon a higher form of intelligence, something we could call God? Or have we inadvertently created one?
It's mind-blowing. So by 2120 in this scenario, over 2.4 billion consciousnesses are living in HelixNet. That's a massive shift.
Yeah.
Like, Earth is still there, but it's no longer the center of everything.
The digital realm has become the dominant reality, and that leads to this pivotal moment where the digital population votes on whether to permanently disconnect from biological humanity.
Like a clean break. They want to create a new civilization in a virtual dimension powered by Dyson spheres.
It's a complete separation from the physical world, and the vote is overwhelmingly in favor, 93%. They choose to forge their own path.
Wow. So it's not a war, it's not a takeover, it's a choice. Two distinct forms of humanity emerging from one.
Exactly. One, biological earthbound. The other, digital, existing in a realm beyond the limits of time and space as we know them. It's the arrival of a singularity not through conflict, but through a fundamental divergence.
So what does it all mean? It's like this massive question mark hanging over our future, this possibility of humanity splitting into two completely different paths.
It makes you rethink everything. What does life even mean in a digital world? What is consciousness when it's running on code? And where do we fit in the grand scheme of things if we're no longer bound by the limitations of our physical bodies?
It's a lot to process, but it's important to think about these things because the future is coming whether we're ready or not.
It is, and it's up to us to decide what role we want to play in shaping that future.
That's all the time we have for today's deep dive. But keep those questions swirling around in your mind, because this is a conversation that's only just beginning.
It is, and the answers might be more surprising than we can even imagine.
Thanks for listening. We'll see you next time.
See you then.
Bye.